What's up, the squad? Back with another video. Y'all seen the title was going down. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it in the title. So look, check it out. So all in all, I had posted. I think I had posted 2 videos in Tim Walz in this situation. Maybe even just one. And everybody obviously looked into it, seen what and figured Tim Walz definitely had something to do with it. So obviously, me looking at different things, and I go to his X account, and the way that he seems is a little bit odd. His body language, the way he talks, everything. Check out this video that he posted.
Good evening. After a 2-day manhunt, 2 sleepless nights, law enforcement have apprehended Vance Bolter. That's 48 hours that law enforcement involved in a complex and dangerous manhunt. Spent Father's Day away from their families to deliver justice for Melissa and Mark
See how nervous he is.
And their children who spent this Father's Day alone. To the law enforcement who stand here and the hundreds who are involved in this, the state of Minnesota owes you a deep debt of gratitude. Thank you. You ran towards the danger and you served the state of Minnesota. This is a great example of coordination and collaboration. Multiple agencies, federal, state, and local, coordinating together in a way to protect the public and close this hunt around. Multiple agencies were there as FBI laid hands on it and Minnesota State Patrol put the handcuffs on. One man's unthinkable actions have altered the state of Minnesota.
Trust and believe, the way that he's talking, the way that he seems, he doesn't look sad. You can just tell. You can just tell by the way he talks, his body language, all of that. So, obviously he posted, he's been posting many things. This was the 20th, June 20th, saying Mark Hortman was a selfless husband and a dedicated father. He always put his family above himself, and everyone who knew him knew that he was Melissa's rock. He was a great friend to Gwen and me, and we'll miss him deeply. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of this is screaming cover up, and it's screaming cover up just based off. I had went through his X account, and let me see here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have many things about this case, and him talking about this case, and a lot of it is just a flood, because y'all have to remember too as well. You have to remember too as well that he deleted a lot of stuff, basically a lot of stuff on Vance Bolter. Deleted a whole bunch of things, a bunch of tweets that he had. And this, I'm telling y'all, a bunch of when I say a bunch of posts, that was about Vance Bolter. Literally being that hype man, being that, because one thing about it, y'all, is that when I see, and like I say, I'm by all means, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect with reading body language and seeing this and saying, I know it's a lot of people, that can obviously see, body language and the way that somebody acts, the way that somebody talks, and you clearly see everything about this guy Tim Walz and how he is. Literally, this is from Nick Sodor, literally having right here, in a matter of just weeks, 2 Tim Walz officials have committed acts of political terror. So you had a Walz employee vandalizing Teslas over Musk. Then you have a Walz appointee, basically, assassin. Literally says here DOJ shall launch an investigation into Walz and his government, which I think so too. This is literally a video when it comes to it of a Tim Walz employee vandalizing a Tesla, literally. And not just one time. I thought it was literally just one time. It's multiple times that these employees are doing everything to Teslas, and then you have this. Everything just about Tim Walz. People would say, about China. Just literally everything about this dude is a big red flag. I'm telling y'all, a big red flag. So Literally another post saying Minnesota assassin Vance Bolter told the FBI in a letter that Tim Walz asked him to unalive Senator Amy so that Walz could take her seat. This is why they hide the manifesto. We need a full investigation now. A lot of people are asking and demanding an investigation on Tim Walz. Literally says here Walz is actively covering this up, which we seen in this post back here. Not even gonna lie. You can definitely just tell like by his body language, the way he's standing and all. You know what I mean? The grip on the podium is insane. And you obviously see people doing it, but you can just tell like his nerves are like his nerves are shot. Like I'm telling y'all. You can definitely see. You definitely can see. But got another. This lives a TikTok. Says here very bizarre. Says assassin of Minnesota rep says Walz asked him to unalive lawmakers. This Democrat lobbyist who was arrested for violent threats against lawmakers in Minnesota promoted Walz's campaign. Walz slipped up and also said that he's friends with shooters. Literally everybody is saying that he's is red flag, and it's literally stated that he was what's his name? Vance was instructed to do those things coming from Walz. Says Minnesota shooter claims Walz asked him to unalive, Amy and others in a letter to the FBI. Literally.
I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen.
One thing about it, just like the other post. I think I got that post. I think that post is my last post. Or no, I don't have the post up. I don't have the post up. But literally, when I say he was the same person that said that they need to get meaner. He needs to get meaner. Democrats need to get meaner. And then you have this turnaround, and I'm telling y'all, everything about this dude is odd to me. And if you don't think so, that's absolutely insane. I'm telling y'all, it's absolutely insane. Check it out.
Reporter Tom Hauser, and Tom has new information from multiple law enforcement sources about Belter's wife being detained today, Tom.
Yeah, I've been working the phones for several hours, as you know, trying to track this down while we were all covering.
Did y'all hear what they said? I'm telling y'all, it's little stuff, and that's why I ain't say nothing, because I want y'all to tune in. Make sure y'all get what I'm saying. Got it right here. Vance Bolter's wife, Jenny, has been detained after a traffic stop where authorities found a weapon, ammo, cash, and passports. Jenny also previously worked for Tim Walz. When I say that this stuff gets weirder and weirder, bro, it gets weird. I'm telling y'all, it gets real weird on just how they moving, what has happened with. I'm telling y'all, it's very odd. Check it out.
Enforcement sources about Belter's wife being detained today, Tom.
Yeah, I've been working the phones for several hours, as you know, trying to track this down while we were all covering the manhunt here in the Twin Cities this morning. Sources tonight tell me the case was also taking a turn about 90 minutes to the north near Onamia in Mille Lacs County. Multiple law enforcement sources with direct knowledge of what happened tell 5 Eyewitness News there was a traffic stop at a convenience store near Onamia. Between 10 and 11 a.m. this morning, law enforcement made a traffic stop involving a vehicle carrying several relatives of Vance Belter, including...
Tried to get his family out of there. I'm telling y'all, it's crazy.
...of Vance Belter, including his wife. We have talked to an eyewitness who says about a dozen law enforcement squads converged on the vehicle and remained on the scene for 2 to 3 hours. We are also told by several of our sources the vehicle contained a weapon, ammunition, cash, and passports. Now, to our knowledge, no one in that group has been arrested, just detained for questioning. It's also unclear why they were stopped, whether they were being tracked, or if it was a random traffic stop. I am told briefings about this incident are ongoing yet tonight, and we will continue to track more developments. And again, sources say Vance Belter's wife is among those detained for questioning. And I did have one source very late in the evening, just before the newscast, say that she was being tracked. So this was not a random traffic stop.
Oh, she was.
She wore the newscast say that she was being tracked.
Okay.
So this was not a random traffic stop. They had an idea of where she was, and they were able to track her down. Again, we're still gathering more details, and we'll have much more coming up tomorrow.
Tom Hauser reporting.
Let me tell y'all something. One thing about it is that it literally screams guilty within everything around that's going on, you know, with Tim Walz and his government, everything. When I say everything, everything, because there's no way, regardless, just, you know, what he said, you know, it was unclear if it was a traffic stop or they were tracking her down. Then he, you know, later said that obviously, you know, they were tracking her down. I feel like that was the right thing to do and to bring them in questioning. And, you know, because you got weapon, ammo, cash, passports. That's, I'm telling y'all, if this is not weird to y'all and y'all don't think that this is odd, I'm telling y'all, you crazy. You gotta be, because there's no way. And I thought it was just a wife that got stopped on a traffic stop, but it was other relatives too. So like I said, it was either it seems to me like obviously you do this, you know, we talking about your family. We got your family. I don't know. I can't say too much on YouTube, but I'm telling y'all, it's a little weird. It's a little weird and it's a little odd. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a little weird and it's a little odd. I'm telling y'all, I don't know. I don't know. But y'all got here, Benny Johnson, and just like that, the story gets more disturbing. Let's check it out.
Assassin who disguised himself as a cop to shoot down Democrat politicians and their spouses. He too, and seriously injured 2 others. Today, we're finding out he wrote a letter to the FBI claiming he was trained by the U.S. military, quote, off the books.
Trained by the U.S. military off the books. Trained by the U.S. military off the books. And then listen to the next thing he
quote,
says.
Off the books. And that Tim Walz asked him to Amy Klobuchar so he could take her Senate seat. Belter's facing state and federal.
Now, if that ain't odd to y'all about how this whole thing is unfolding, you're crazy. I'm telling y'all, because everything about this is very, very odd. It is very, very odd. I don't know. It's definitely screaming cover up. It's definitely the whole thing with his wife. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. I just happened to come across, you know, that traffic stop, and I just find everything weird. I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts and comments down below. Me personally, they do need to do something about Tim Walz and others, not just Tim Walz, others as well. But Tim Walz definitely the main one. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe, and definitely appreciate every single one of y'all. Much love to everybody, and I thank y'all so much for sharing these videos, liking these videos, leaving super chats, everything. I appreciate y'all so much. Catch y'all next one.